Hello folks, hope you're all doing well. I'm still at the plot. You might be thinking, oh look, you're wearing the same as you did in the last video. Sometimes when I'm up here for a few hours I'll film more than one video in one go, so I'm gonna sort of follow on from the theme for the sort of wintry, autumny sort of prep. You know, the last one we sorted out those potato beds and I've dug over stuff and we had the hoe out and raked stuff up and all that good stuff. And if I spin round you see it over my shoulder, you can see them there with all the lovely covers on them, whatever. And it's really sunny. I can't see you now, sorry about that. It's let's spin back round, I can't see. So next bit of today's jobs is, I mentioned before, we've got the onions, the garlic and the shallots. They're all sort of starting to sprout up in the little mini greenhouse there. And I've mentioned before that, I'll just spin you around here, that this area here is going to, you can see I'm all set up here ready to go. I've got my stuff and my tripod and stuff ready for the next bit of the video. But this is our sort of autumn winter area here while the rest of the plot gets worked on and different things get done, like the bean frames and that. I'll come to them in the next video and talk about what we're going to do with that. But you know, you can see stuff's growing over here, but there's a couple of these beds that are ready to be sorted out. There's a couple at the bottom there, but it's going to be pretty much the same for all of them. So if I show you this one, it's just one of these pallet collars, and this is one that I've built a lid onto it because it's had different things growing in it last year to what it's had in it earlier this year I should say. I'm getting ahead of myself there. And you can see since I've taken the stuff out, there's some weeds in there, so it's a no dig bed. So I'm just going to lift the weeds out. Hopefully they'll come out quite quickly. I'll show you what I'm going to do about topping it up, getting some nutrition in there and getting it ready for the crops to go out later this month. And we'll get them in and we'll get them growing. I'll scooch down here a little bit, ignore the state of the path at the back here. This bed here is where we had the courgettes in it. So again, it's pretty similar to the other one, but it doesn't have a lid on it, which doesn't matter for the garlic and the shallots and the onions and what have you. And we'll get some in here. Again, exactly the same as I'm going to do to the bed down there, which is exactly the same as I'm going to do to the beds at the other end. Get them prepped up, get them ready to go. Just for later on this month, I can come along and whack them out and we're good to go. Right, I'll prop you up on the tripod and I'll be back with you in a jiffy and we'll get some of this stuff sorted. Right, so let's get started with this bit. We'll just tuck the purple sprouting broccoli out the way there while we lift the lid off, and you can see there's a few weeds and things in here. I mean, no dig's great. It's so much better than the dug beds I've got, but it, you know, it still needs maintenance. It still needs things doing to it. So let's just see how easy these are going to be to lift out. Oh, there you go. One benefit for no dig, no sort of deep rooted weeds. I mean, these look big, but I'm just giving them a tug there and they're coming out in a one-hand, which is absolutely brilliant and just what I wanted. I was hoping for it. I did have the old hori knife here ready to go just in case we needed that. And as I say that, I've had one just break, but we've managed to scoop it out there. And we'll get these, and we'll just get this just tidied up. It's just a bit messy, you know. Just at the, we stopped using this bed. Oh, I can't remember when I stopped using it. Anyway, sort of middle to the end of the summer with the plan for this for some of the garlic and or shallots or onions, whatever I decide to put in here, one of them. But it's going to be the same sort of prep for all of them there. Forget them going, so we'll get all these little tiddly weeds out. We will. They're not too bad, and there's a stone there, and actually just these little ones that are, there's a couple on the path here as well. Let's get these as well. Just while we're here, we might as well do a bit of a tidy up and just make it look a little bit nicer. To be honest, some of the paths do need a bit of work around here because I used the natural wood chips on it. If eventually when it starts to rot down, if any weed seeds that blow into the paths, the weeds do start growing on the paths, which is a bit annoying. But hey, one of those things. I'm just going to grab the hoe just to give this a quick hoe for some of these really small ones. Just back with you in a wee second there. Right, so this should just take no time at all. In here, just this wee bed, just give it a hoe over, and the soil's really loose. It's not sort of claggy or sticky like the other ones in the dug beds. And again, it's not ideal conditions for having the hoe in there, but you know, it's gonna, oh look, I've got it all over my knee rest. It's gonna break up all these little diddly weeds and get them sorted. Anyway, right, let's just level it off a wee bit. Right, get rid of these. Job's good. Next tool, and I've managed to put a bag of compost on top of it. That's good planning. It's this little 3-pronged cultivator, and as our friend Steve would say over at Green Side Up, you just tickle the surface of the bed there, these no dig beds, and again, it's just, it's not, you're not breaking down the structure of the soil, which is ideally sort of, you know, what you're doing in no dig is you want that structure there that no dig gives you, but you're just breaking up the surface. So when I go to put the nutrients in, they're going to go in there and be absorbed into the soil. And let's just pick out 1 or 2 of those ones that I can see there and chuck them in there. Right, so this, I actually thought I would have to top this up with fresh compost, and I've got a bag here, but you know, I'm only 2 or 3 inches off the top of this bed, so I think it's going to be absolutely fine. It did get a good old load of compost and manure at the start of the season, so I don't think we need to do any compost with it. Normally these no dig beds, these ones that I've got in the raised pallet collars, when it rains, when things happen, when you pull crops out and you know the earth stuck to them, the level does start to drop, and you do have to top them up with compost or whatever material you have, whether it's manure or whatnot. But this one's actually all right, so it doesn't really need topping up. So all I need to do now, if I lean over here, we've got the 6X chicken manure, and I use this on pretty much everything around here. And I've got an old plant pot in here, and we're just going to sprinkle it all the way over, and it's pretty concentrated stuff, so you don't need loads and loads and loads of it. But the reason I'm putting the chicken manure in now is because if I show you, it's in these sort of solid pellets, so it needs the rain on it to break them down. So there's the chicken manure on these little sort of solid pellets, and like I was just saying, the rain will break them down, soak into the soil, get that nutrition back in there. Now because I'm not topping up the compost, all I'm going to do as well is, I've got the end, it's just the end of a box of bloodfish and bone. And again, this one that I got here, it was on offer somewhere, Miracle Grow. Sometimes it comes in a powder, but this one came and it's little pellets. So it's just getting a wee sprinkle of that over the top, just to finish that box off. And then we'll get rid of this box into the bin as well. And that can go home and go in the recycling. So that's pretty much just about it for prepping this bed for the onions and garlic going in. What I'll do is, you see I've got a bit of a playlist for this, for the onions and garlic, and how I'm doing them over winter in the different stages that I'm going through. So I think this is only the 2nd video, if I remember rightly, but I'll do a 3rd one. So come the end of the month, when I come to plant them out, I'll do a 3rd one as to how I'm going to put them out, how I'm going to space them out. There'll be a little bit more nutrition going in, how I'm going to look after them over the winter. So keep an eye out for that. And if you want to keep up to date with that or anything else we're doing here, please consider giving the channel subscribe. Just click the button below. It's absolutely free. Or if you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up or leave a comment or anything like that. Always happy to have a chat about anything that's going on. But anyway, that's me just about done for today, and I will see you on the next one, folks. Bye for now.